Gardening is more than just a hobby for older adults. It's a therapeutic, fulfilling, and health-enhancing activity that brings countless physical, emotional, and mental benefits. As we age, staying active becomes crucial, and gardening provides a gentle yet effective form of exercise that enhances flexibility, endurance, and strength. It also promotes relaxation and reduces stress, contributing to overall well-being. But to garden safely and effectively in older age, it's important to adapt techniques and tools to match changing physical needs. The first thing older adults should consider when taking up gardening is assessing their physical condition and choosing a gardening style that suits their mobility and energy levels. Raised garden beds, for example, can be a perfect solution for those with back or knee issues, as they reduce the need for bending or kneeling. These beds can be customized to various heights to make gardening comfortable and accessible. Another alternative is container gardening, which allows for flexibility and control over the garden's location and plant types. Container gardening can be done on patios, balconies, or even indoors, making it suitable for those with limited outdoor space. Choosing the right tools is equally important. Ergonomic tools with padded handles and long extensions can reduce strain on the hands, wrists, and back. Look for lightweight tools made of aluminum or fiberglass to minimize fatigue. Tools with brightly colored handles are easier to spot in the garden, and ones with wrist straps provide better grip and security. Investing in a sturdy garden stool or kneeler with handles can help make planting and weeding more manageable and reduce stress on joints. Another essential tip is to pay attention to your body. Gardening should be enjoyable, not exhausting. Take breaks often, especially on hot days. Hydrate regularly, wear a wide-brimmed hat, apply sunscreen, and dress in light, breathable clothing. Stretching before and after gardening helps maintain flexibility and prevent injuries. It's helpful to garden during the cooler parts of the day, such as early morning or late afternoon, to avoid excessive heat and sun exposure. Start small, especially if you're new to gardening or returning after a long break. Begin with a few easy-to-grow plants that require minimal maintenance. Herbs like basil, mint, and parsley are excellent for beginners and offer culinary benefits as well. Tomatoes, lettuce, and green beans are also relatively easy to grow and rewarding. Choosing native plants can significantly reduce the amount of care needed, as they are naturally adapted to local soil and climate conditions. Low-maintenance plants like succulents, lavender, and marigolds are also good choices. Planning the garden layout in advance can save time and effort. Grouping plants with similar water and sunlight needs together simplifies watering and care routines. Use mulch to retain moisture, prevent weeds, and reduce the frequency of watering. Installing a drip irrigation system or soaker hose can make watering easier and more efficient, especially for larger gardens. Soil health is another important aspect of successful gardening. Older adults should consider testing the soil for pH and nutrient levels before planting. Adding compost or organic matter can improve soil structure and fertility. Composting kitchen scraps and garden waste is not only eco-friendly but also provides a rich, natural fertilizer for the garden. Gardening can also be a great social activity. Joining a local gardening club or community garden can provide opportunities to meet others, share tips, and enjoy the company of like-minded individuals. Gardening with grandchildren or neighbors can create meaningful connections across generations. For those with limited mobility, vertical gardening is a smart option. Using trellises, wall planters, or hanging baskets maximizes space and minimizes bending or kneeling. These setups are ideal for growing vines, strawberries, and trailing flowers. Accessible garden designs such as wide, smooth pathways, handrails, and clearly labeled plant markers make gardening safer and more enjoyable. Older adults with vision impairments can benefit from brightly colored plants, bold textures, and fragrant flowers that engage the senses beyond sight. Tools with tactile grips and audible watering timers can also assist those with limited vision. Raised beds with contrasting borders help define planting areas clearly. Sensory gardens, which include plants chosen for their scents, textures, sounds, and colors, are especially beneficial for individuals with dementia or memory loss. They provide stimulation and comfort in a safe, controlled environment. When it comes to garden maintenance, it's important to stay organized. Keep tools in a dedicated, easily accessible location. Use labeled containers for seeds and fertilizers. Maintain a gardening journal to track planting dates, weather conditions, and plant performance. This not only aids memory but also helps in planning future gardening tasks. Consider using a cart or garden caddy to move tools and supplies around the garden without heavy lifting. Choosing the right clothing is also key to comfort and safety. Wear gloves to protect hands from thorns, soil bacteria, and blisters. Long sleeves and pants shield against sunburn and insect bites. Closed-toe shoes with good traction help prevent slips and falls. If kneeling is painful, use foam knee pads or cushion kneelers. Gardening also supports cognitive health. Planning garden layouts, identifying plant species, and managing daily tasks all require concentration and memory, which help keep the mind sharp. Engaging in creative activities like designing flower arrangements or experimenting with new plant combinations can boost mood and mental agility. For those who want to continue gardening through the seasons, indoor gardening is a practical option. Growing houseplants or herbs on a windowsill, using hydroponic systems, or setting up a small indoor greenhouse allows for year-round enjoyment. Indoor plants like snake plants, peace lilies, and pahos are low maintenance and improve indoor air quality. Gardening also promotes a sense of purpose and accomplishment. Watching plants grow and thrive as a result of your efforts can bring immense joy and satisfaction. Harvesting homegrown vegetables, seeing flowers bloom, or sharing garden produce with friends and neighbors adds a rewarding dimension to the activity. Gardening can also contribute to better nutrition. Growing your own vegetables encourages healthier eating habits. Fresh produce from the garden is free of harmful chemicals and pesticides and often tastes better than store-bought options. Involving yourself in the entire process from seed to harvest deepens appreciation for food and where it comes from. Mental health benefits of gardening are well documented. Spending time in nature reduces symptoms of depression, anxiety, and loneliness. The rhythmic, repetitive tasks of gardening provide a calming effect similar to meditation. Being surrounded by greenery and natural beauty lifts the spirit and fosters a positive outlook on life. For older adults in assisted living or retirement communities, gardening programs can be an excellent addition to daily routines. Raised beds, container gardens, or small courtyard gardens can be adapted to communal spaces. These programs not only provide physical activity but also encourage social engagement and creative expression. Family members can support older adults in gardening by helping with heavy lifting, setting up garden structures, or simply spending time together in the garden. This shared activity strengthens bonds and creates lasting memories. Teaching younger generations about gardening can be especially fulfilling, passing on knowledge and traditions in a meaningful way. Safety should always be a top priority. Avoid overexertion by limiting gardening sessions to 30 to 45 minutes, especially in the beginning. Use timers or alarms as reminders to take breaks. Be cautious when using chemical fertilizers or pesticides. Opt for natural alternatives whenever possible. Always read labels and store substances safely out of reach. Garden lighting is also important, especially for early morning or evening gardening. Solar-powered lights can be installed along paths or around beds to improve visibility and prevent accidents. Keep pathways clear of tools, hoses, and debris to avoid tripping hazards. Be mindful of allergies. Some plants can trigger allergic reactions through pollen or contact. Choose hypoallergenic plants and wear protective gear when needed. Wash hands and clothes after gardening to reduce exposure to allergens. If you have a history of bee allergies, keep an epinephrine auto-injector on hand when working outdoors. Gardening also offers opportunities for lifelong learning. There is always something new to discover, whether it's a new plant species, a growing technique, or a sustainable practice. Reading gardening books, watching tutorials, and visiting botanical gardens can inspire new ideas and keep your gardening journey fresh and exciting. Setting achievable gardening goals helps maintain motivation. Whether it's growing your first tomato plant, designing a flower bed, or starting a compost bin, each goal adds purpose and direction. Celebrate small successes and keep experimenting. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. Every gardener experiences trial and error. Weather conditions, pests, or unexpected plant failure are all part of the learning curve. Connecting with nature through gardening also nurtures a sense of gratitude and mindfulness. Observing seasonal changes, pollinators at work, or dew on leaves cultivates appreciation for the small wonders of life. For older adults recovering from illness or surgery, gardening can be a gentle way to regain strength and mobility. Occupational therapists often recommend horticultural therapy as part of rehabilitation. Simple tasks like potting plants, watering, or pruning can gradually rebuild coordination and stamina. Engaging in gardening activities not only supports recovery but also encourages a positive mindset, which is essential for healing. For older adults dealing with chronic conditions like arthritis or osteoporosis, adaptive gardening practices can make a big difference. Using tools with larger grips, raised planters, or even automated watering systems can alleviate strain on joints and reduce discomfort. Warm-up exercises before gardening and cooling down afterward can help maintain joint flexibility and muscle health. It's also important to stay mentally prepared and patient with oneself, recognizing that slower movement or needing more frequent breaks is a normal part of aging. Gardening should be a joyful process, not a source of frustration or stress. Practicing mindfulness while gardening, such as focusing on the textures of leaves, the sound of birds, or the scent of flowers, can increase the therapeutic effects. Nature itself becomes a partner in wellness, offering moments of serenity and reflection. To help maintain a well-managed garden, developing a consistent routine is beneficial. Watering at the same time each day, inspecting plants regularly for signs of pests or disease, and pruning on a weekly basis are manageable habits that keep the garden thriving. Older adults may find it helpful to use garden planners or calendars to track tasks and seasonal changes. These planners can also serve as a journal, recording memories, plant varieties, and gardening milestones. Sharing gardening experiences with others, whether in person or online, adds a community aspect to this solitary hobby. Many older adults find joy in participating in online gardening forums or social media groups, where they can exchange photos, advice, and encouragement. Digital resources such as gardening apps can offer planting reminders, care tips, and inspiration. As technology becomes more integrated into daily life, it becomes a helpful tool in supporting older gardeners. In addition to physical tools and digital support, emotional readiness is vital. Gardening can bring up memories, especially for those who have gardened throughout their lives. It might evoke nostalgia or even sadness in remembering gardens tended with late loved ones. Yet, in honoring those memories, gardening becomes a tribute, a way to keep their spirit alive through the continued cultivation of life and beauty. For those with limited outdoor access, bringing nature indoors through houseplants can provide similar benefits. Indoor gardening using windowsills, vertical wall gardens, or hydroponic setups allows older adults to enjoy the process without physical strain or weather dependency. Herbs, lettuce, spinach, and even strawberries can thrive indoors with proper light and care. Indoor air quality also improves with the addition of plants like peace lilies, spider plants, and English ivy. Seasonal gardening can bring structure to the year. In spring, planting new seeds and preparing soil gives a sense of fresh beginnings. Summer provides the joy of growth and bloom. Autumn invites harvesting and reflection, while winter allows time for planning, resting, and indoor plant care. Seasonal changes offer new tasks and rewards, keeping gardening dynamic and engaging. Gardening can be incorporated into everyday life in simple ways. Growing herbs in the kitchen windowsill makes meals fresher and more satisfying. Placing flowering plants near sitting areas lifts the mood. Even watching birds attracted to the garden can bring joy and connection to nature. Installing bird feeders, bird baths, or butterfly-friendly plants adds another layer of life to the garden. The benefits of gardening are not limited to individual well-being. Environmentally, home gardens contribute to sustainability by supporting pollinators, reducing food miles, and minimizing packaging waste. Composting garden and kitchen waste reduces landfill contributions and creates rich soil. Water conservation techniques such as rainwater harvesting and mulching reduce resource use. Older adults can feel proud of their contribution to environmental health. Gardening can be an intergenerational bridge. Teaching grandchildren how to plant seeds, explaining plant life cycles, or crafting together with flowers and leaves can create lasting memories. These moments help pass down knowledge, values, and a love for nature. Grandparents can become the keepers of family gardening traditions and stories, enriching family bonds. For those facing cognitive challenges like dementia, gardening can provide grounding, familiarity, and joy. Simple repetitive tasks such as watering or raking can be soothing. Scented plants like rosemary and lavender stimulate memory. Raised beds with wide borders prevent wandering and offer safe boundaries. Caregivers can participate alongside, using gardening as a form of engagement and companionship. Community gardens offer a chance for older adults to garden collectively. Sharing tools, exchanging produce, and collaborating on projects fosters a strong sense of belonging. Volunteering in school gardens or local parks also keeps older adults active and involved in the broader community. Gardening for a cause, such as growing food for donation, can be deeply fulfilling. For older adults with limited strength, focusing on smaller plants like herbs, flowers, and leafy greens can be easier than managing fruit trees or large shrubs. Using slow-release fertilizers reduces the need for frequent feeding. Installing automatic irrigation systems eliminates the daily effort of watering. These adjustments help maintain garden health with minimal physical demand. planting themes can make gardening more fun. A tea garden with mint, chamomile, and lemon balm, or a salad garden with lettuce, cherry tomatoes, and cucumbers can be rewarding projects. Color-themed flower beds or fragrant plant corners add visual and sensory appeal. Experimenting with textures, heights, and colors keeps the garden interesting and alive. Using natural pest control methods such as companion planting, neem oil, and beneficial insects minimizes exposure to harmful chemicals. Ladybugs, for instance, help control aphids. Marigolds repel nematodes. Companion planting, such as growing basil near tomatoes, enhances growth and reduces pests. These techniques make gardening safer and more ecological. Creative expression through garden design can be incredibly fulfilling. Arranging garden decorations, choosing pottery, or laying stepping stones allows older adults to personalize their space. Upcycling items into planters, like old boots, teapots, or baskets, adds charm and character. Incorporating wind chimes, mirrors, or small water features creates a soothing atmosphere. Recognizing signs of overexertion is important. Shortness of breath, dizziness, or joint pain are indicators to stop and rest. Listen to the body's signals. Regular health checkups can help manage underlying conditions that may affect gardening. Family and caregivers should stay informed and supportive, ensuring the environment remains safe and encouraging. Gardening can also inspire other hobbies. Drawing or painting the garden, writing poetry about its changes, or photographing its beauty extend the joy. Creating a scrapbook of the garden's progress, or a recipe book using garden produce adds depth to the experience. These creative outlets enhance memory, emotion, and personal identity. Budget-friendly gardening is possible by using seeds instead of seedlings, saving seeds from previous plants, and swapping cuttings with friends. DIY. Compost bins, homemade trellises, and reused containers reduce costs and encourage creativity. Many libraries or local councils offer free gardening resources, classes, and seed exchanges. Accessibility is a key consideration. Pathways should be wide and even, with non-slip surfaces. Having seating areas at regular intervals allows rest. Shade structures such as pergolas or umbrellas provide comfort. Keep watering cans small and manageable, or use hoses with spray nozzles to reduce lifting. Every garden, no matter how small, can be adapted to meet individual needs. Gardening can also be integrated into therapy plans. Whether it's physical rehabilitation, occupational therapy, or mental health support, gardening offers a structured, engaging, and meaningful activity. Therapists often use planting, weeding, or harvesting as exercises in coordination, balance, and focus. Even just being in the garden, without active work, offers healing benefits. As older adults age further, transitioning from active gardening to observation can still bring joy. Sitting in the garden, watching its rhythm, listening to birds, and breathing in the scents maintains a connection to nature. Having family or caregivers maintain the garden allows continued engagement and legacy without the physical strain. Gardening represents growth, patience, and renewal. It teaches us to care, to wait, and to appreciate life cycles. For older adults, it provides a purpose, an outlet, and a sanctuary. With proper planning, adaptation, and support, gardening can remain a beloved lifelong activity that nourishes the body, mind, and soul. It is never too late to start or to continue. Whether it's a pot of parsley on the windowsill, or a full backyard filled with flowers and vegetables, every act of gardening is a step toward wellness and joy. Let the garden be your companion, your healer, and your celebration of life's ongoing beauty. No matter your age, the earth welcomes your hands.